What's going on, y'all? It's your man Dre, the #1 Chief Rocker, back with another music video reaction. Before we jump into today's video, I need to throw a huge shout out to Happiest Med. Happiest Med has the best in CBD products. Make sure you go on to happiestmed.com and check them out. And make sure you use my code DRERAWKA, that's DRERAWKA, for 10% upon checkout. It's the best in CBD products, and I love them. I actually just started using the sleep aid, and I love it. It gets you to sleep without the grogginess feeling and not with the incoherent feeling when you wake up, right? It's nothing like that. Hey guys, so this is actually not a music video reaction. Man, this is weird, man. I'm feeling kind of nervous about this and I don't know why. But I felt like this was a good platform, a good way to kind of convey my feelings, and just to tell you guys how I'm feeling right now. Like, I'm super duper nervous, but you know, I'm nervous for all the good reasons, right? I'm good. I'm good. Life is good. And because life is good, I wanted to just take a moment and just tell the lady of my life, Tressa, hi. If you're watching this right now, you're probably on the couch. You're probably wondering, like, what's going on? So Tressa and I, we've been together 8 years now. By the time you're watching this, to this day, we've been together 8 years. And Tressa has been with me through a lot of ups and a lot of downs, and a lot of just kind of just being mellow and kind of equal balance, right? Balance on life. And through that 8 years, well, let me start off by telling you guys where we met. Tressa and I met at a friend's house. Her friend, not my friend. I wouldn't call that person my friend. But that night kind of changed my whole life. And when I say changed my whole life, Tressa, just really, I tell her that she had me at her first ugly look, her first dirty look she gave me, right? And you know, ever since that day, we moved in. Not since that day, but a few weeks later, not even a few months. Like, it was maybe a month into our relationship. I asked her to come live with me. At the time, I was living with a roommate. I was rooming with a friend of mine. Shout out to Felipe, shout out to Jason. And so it was already 3 guys in one house, and my other friend Jason had a girl there too. And so it was kind of like, it was a lot. There was a lot going on, and I didn't know if these guys would allow me to have her come and live with us, but I was gonna figure it out regardless. So thank goodness they said yeah. They said sure, like, it's your girl. Hey, come have her come live with us and whatnot. And you know, I paid her half a rent or whatever. And from there, I made it my goal. I made it my goal because we had our first son Tavian coming, right? And I made it a really, really big goal of mine was to man up, right? This was like, I mean, I've always had to man up my whole life. Single father. I mean, I had my first house key when I was in kindergarten, right? So I've had to man up my whole life, and this was no exception. I had to man up. I felt like, hey, this is my time to kind of show her that, hey, I want to take care of you. I want you to be my lady. I really want to start my life with you. So I had to go get a job, right? A better job, I should say. I've always had a job, but I had to get a better paying job. And so I ended up getting a job. Well, I applied first, got denied, and then I applied again for this specific job, which I've been at for 8 years now too. And it was scary, because when you are in a job that's paying the bills currently, and you know, you're feeling good about things, it's hard to kind of take a leap of faith and say, hey, I'm gonna try something new, right? Again, we had Tavian come in, and you know, I just wanted to make sure that she was stable. So long story long, I ended up getting us into, but we got into an apartment and started our life together. We had nothing. We had absolutely nothing. We had a futon. No, actually, at the time, we didn't have a futon. We had one mattress, one dresser, two TVs, but one of them didn't work. And it was a big screen TV. It was like one of those floor models that you can roll around. And we had nothing. We had food. We never went hungry. We had food, as you can see. You know, of course, I'm going to make sure we eat. But nothing in our living room. Not a damn thing in our bathroom. We hit the dollar store and maybe spent $30 for like toothbrushes, shower curtains, and maybe some towels. But literally had nothing. Baby on the way. And you know, it was that struggle. It was that kind of, that struggle that we felt together that made me realize that, hey, like, I have a partner. I have somebody that is gonna ride with me through the struggle. Cause I've been through the struggle, and I've always been through the struggle by myself. You know, with my pops, but never have I ever had a partner to share that struggle with, right? But it was our struggle, right? It was our struggle. So during that time, you know, we go through the typical BS that relationships go through, you know, the feeling each other out, the ups, the downs. And for a while there, I was like, you know what? This isn't for me. This isn't the relationship that I want. And you know, it got to a point where I thought every relationship would be sunshine, roses, rainbows, and you know, all the glitter, all the good things, right? I didn't think relationships had bad moments. And I think the reason why I thought that is because I thought when you're in a relationship, because I've been in relationships before, one serious one before, and it was like, it was a struggle, but it was definitely one-sided. It was horrible, right? But this was different, you know, going through, once I realized that, like, not every relationship not all relationships are going to have the sunshine, the roses, and everything like that. I realized that, hey, this is what a relationship is. It's figuring this thing out together, right? It's not giving up. It's going through the struggle together. It's celebrating each other's wins. Like when she first got her, her first job, and, you know, when she was scared to leave another job to go to a better, kind of more corporate type of job, I was right there with her. You know, I celebrated her wins, and, you know, that's what I wanted now. I mean, that's what I want now, right? So during that time, it really showed me a lot in her. Fast forward, you know, we have Tavian, beautiful, our firstborn, beautiful kid. Smart kid, funny kid. And that brought a new stage in our life. That brought a new concern of, hey, we can't fail. We have a little human now. We have a little man that's going to look at mom and dad and say, you know, that's looking for us for guidance and wants, you know, we want the best for him because, you know, while our parents did their job in some aspects, you know, we always try to be better than our parents, right? I feel we should always try to be better than our parents. There's things that I don't do as a father that hopefully Tavian and Amari and Anaya can look back on and be like, you know, my pops didn't do this, or mom and dad didn't do this, so I'm gonna do it with my kids. I'm gonna try to be better than them, and I want that, and that's something that we want for our kids, and so. You know, Amari ends up coming. You know, at the time with Tavian, I was like, you know, I think the feeling was mutual that we wanted a big family. We wanted, you know, 8 kids, you know, 12 kids, right? And then that second one comes and you realize that, hey, you know what? 2 is okay. 2, maybe we stop at 2. 2 is all right, right? And Amari came, and Amari is just my twin. You know, he's just a splendid image of me. He's just my personality. He's wild. He's crazy. He is loving. He's you know, he's just a good kid too. And at that time, we started to, you know, I started to get, you know, more gigs as a DJ. And granted, when she first found out I was a DJ, it was like, it was cool. And then she kind of struggled with me being gone, weekends, right? I got day gigs, I got afternoon gigs, I got night gigs. Not only that, I have my own goals and aspirations that I'm trying to achieve while starting a family too, right? So she kind of struggled with that, and I can't say enough about her being understanding and really understanding that while yes, we are parents, we still have goals and we still have things that we need to strive for as well. And she 100% supports me, and that's not easy. That's not easy with having two kids at this time, right? Two kids. Her family is out in Ogden. The only family that, not the only family, but at the time, family that was really there was my pops and my stepmom. And because they were just super close, right? They're less than, they're super close. They're less than 5 minutes away from us. And, so for her to say, you know what, go do your thing, I'm going to hold it down. That says a lot. And I can't thank her enough for just being that support system, during that. So during this time, we end up, leveling up, right? We ended up getting out of that 1-bedroom apartment, just moving literally maybe 4 doors down. I should have said 3 doors down. It would have been funny. But yeah, moving 4 doors down and moving into a 2-bedroom, right? Not much of a big jump, but it was a big jump for us, right? Coming from nothing, as you remember, I was telling you we had nothing, to now we have furniture, right? Now we have a furniture set. And it's not the greatest, but it's ours, right? Going from nothing to having that, to having, a bedroom for our sons, and, being able to invest money and do certain things, it's awesome. And none of that came easy. A lot of that came with a lot of understanding that, hey, we might not be able to do certain things right now, but, hopefully in the long run, we will be able to do certain things. And during that whole time, she really held it down. When Amari was born, he was about 6 months, and he was maybe about 8 months old. I had a really bad back pain. I've always lived with back pain, but it's been very severe the last couple of years. And back in 2018, I want to say 18 or 19, I had back surgery because it got super excruciating. It got to the point where I had a gig at a bar named Sue, 8136 South State Street. Shout out to y'all. Where after my gig, I was literally laying on the floor. I could not move. I was in that much pain. And the next day, I got home, and the next day, I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand. I couldn't sit. The only thing I could do was lay on my side. And so Tressa literally loads me into the back seat of my car, of our car, and drives me to the ER, right? Literally, I'm in the back seat of our cars, like literally in that much pain, like screaming, excruciating pain. So we get to the ER, and the doctors, they've always told me, whenever I had an x-ray or anything like that, they've always told me that it's just it's nothing. They didn't see nothing wrong with it. And the weird thing about it wasn't my back, it was my hip hurting that was hurting. So it was a back issue, my lower spine was the issue, but the pain was on my hip. So it felt like my hip was at a place. And she was by my side that whole time. And so we end up having an MRI. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm missing throughout this whole story, but I want to kind of paint this picture for you. We have the MRI. MRI comes back. Doctor comes into the room, and of course, Tressa's right by my side. And the doctor says, "Andre, you were born with a narrow spine." And so we're like, well, what does that mean, right? The base of my spine is that of a child, right? That of a child. It was just genetics, just born this way. And he's like, so there's a couple things that we could talk about. One is cortisone injections, what are injections into your back, into your spine. And what that essentially does is it numbs the nerves, right? He's like, it's a short time fix, or what we can do is surgery. Surgery has a certain percentage, I forget what he said, of fixing the issue. It is invasive. We go through L1 through 5, and we shave off your cerebral, which is, I believe it's cerebral, the pointy part of your spine, right? And so it's a tough decision, right? It's like, do I have this surgery? Mind you, Amari's 8 months old, right? My another thing with this is, well, we'll do it in order. So doctor tells us that. We're like, okay, we understand. We set up an appointment with, I believe he was a vascular surgeon, I believe. Oh no, it was a neurologist. I believe it was a neurologist. And we have the meeting with the neurologist. He looks over the imaging, and he gives us kind of our options, right? Our options, tells us about how the surgery will go and all this stuff. And, you know, I get another opinion, and, you know, it looks like, okay, this is it. And this is one of the top doctors in the nation. So I felt really good about it. We go home, talk to Tressa, and she's like, you know, I support whatever you want to do. I do have concerns, as anybody would, right? Anybody, we don't know if I'm gonna come out of there alive, dead, paralyzed, right? There's so much that can go wrong with any surgery, but let alone your spine, your back, right? So we talk about it. We discuss, come to the conclusion that, yeah, let's do it. We know that, hey, maybe in 10 more years after my surgery, I might have to have another one, but let's do it. And so, and because the pain was that bad, it was horrible pain. So I go in, it's 5:00 in the morning, day of surgery. We have Tressa's with me, of course, and Amari's with us. 5:00 in the morning, newborn baby. Well, not newborn, he's like 8 months old. And shout out to my cousin Melissa, shout out to my pops that came for the day of my surgery. I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but it was a terrifying time in my life, because you're gearing up. It was my first time being under the knife, other than when I got stabbed in my knee. I got sewed up there, and then when I got stabbed in my forehead, that was really small, right? That's little stitches, but this was like being put under, breathing tube, all this stuff. And those things are scary, right? Those are scary things that when you hear that stuff, you don't know what to expect. Like, I've seen my dad with a breathing tube, and it broke my heart. You know what I mean? So, you know, so I just want to salute my family for coming during that time. So we go in for surgery. Well, we walk. Tressa's with me this whole time. She's walking with me back there. They're getting my weight, they're getting my height, all the normal stuff proceeding wise. They put in my IV, and then now we're in the prep room, right? So I'm getting prepped and everything like that. One of my scariest things was, I don't want not a urinal. What the hell is that thing called? Where they put the thing up your pee hole. Somebody's screaming at this right now, saying, it's called this. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't want one of those, right? Thank God I didn't get one. So that's, thank you. So we're in the prep room, and it's cold. It's me, Tressa, this is before COVID, right? So it's me, Tressa, my cousin Melissa. No, my pops didn't come. It was just Tressa and Melissa, I believe. Yeah. So we're in the room, and I got my IV, and Tressa puts Amari on my chest, and I start to lose it. I'm gonna try not to get emotional. The reason why I started to lose it is because this is my son. This is my newborn son. I mean, 8 months old. And this could be the last time that I see him or hold him. And she was it was an emotional time. It was very emotional. And so I give my loves and everything like that. And I think I wrote out a will, even things like that too. I even told her like things that I would want in case I didn't make it through this and stuff like that. And so I go through, I have my surgery, I give my loves and everything like that. I come out of surgery and I wake up in the room and I'm alone. I'm like looking around. I'm not in any pain. I felt like a board though. Like I felt like a board, meaning I felt paralyzed. So I was kind of freaking out. I was like, oh, I can't move at all. Like your back feels like it is like a part of the bed, if that makes sense. It's super heavy. You can't move at all. It's horrible. And so the nurse comes over, notices that I'm waking up. She's like, hey, Andre, like you're waking up, blah, blah, blah. So they wheel me up to my room and I can't talk. I can't talk because of the breathing tube. I couldn't talk at all. I had no voice. And so when I get up to my room, Tressa's there. I believe, she was there when I woke up. She got in there. And it was extremely hard, and I'm saying it's extremely hard for me, but she had 2 kids at home. She was by herself. She didn't have, dad there to help out with the kids and stuff like that. So, again, all this is going to make sense in a minute. I just want to paint this picture. So we get home. We drive home and whatnot. Horrible drive. Not her driving, but just like bumps and stuff like that. It was horrible. And I get upstairs, I get settled in onto the bed. A few days go by, and now my advice nurse has to come. Or not advice nurse, but my home nurse, who came 3 times a week. I had to change my back bandage because I had they had to change the bandage because the hole in my back was like 1.5 inches, 2 inches deep into my back. So he had to come and change my bandages. I ended up having to have a second surgery because the wound wouldn't shut. It wouldn't shut properly. So they had to go in and they had to put in a vacuum that sucked my back, the two pieces, the 2 incisions, had to suck it in to close it. And think about putting a sponge in an open wound. That's what it was. And that sponge kept the wound shut because it had a vacuum and it sucked it up and it sucked it closed. So anytime the vacuum got turned off, it would kind of relieve, right? And then the sponge would need to be pulled out to be changed. You would have to change the sponge. Well, that sponge fuses to the inside of my back meat, right? It fuses to it. So it's ripping. It's pulling apart the inside of my back, the raw meat. It's the most excruciating pain I've ever been in. I literally was screaming. So during that time, my sister had passed away, and my nephew Machiavel had my mom, who isn't the greatest mom, right? Who literally she can't handle him herself, right? And so I'm laid up in the bed. I can't move or anything, right? But I stressed to her, hey, have him come live with us. We'll take care of him. We just had a newborn baby, right? So it's my baby, Tavian, and now we add Machiavel. There was a whole bunch of drama I won't go through on here because that's not what it's about. Adding the pressure of not even being able to pick up Amari, she took on all of that. She took on all 3 kids. She took on even her own mother at the time. She needed a place to live, and her mom is not the easiest person. Story for another time. She took on all that. I couldn't do nothing. I was laid up in bed. I couldn't move, right? She bathed me. She clothed me. She helped me. Anything that I needed, she helped me with because I couldn't do anything. we have at that time, or now fast forward, I got a part-time job here at the radio station. Salute to the guy at E-Rock Lips for the opportunity. Salute to Bangarang for helping me here at this station. I'm very happy here. I got a solid team behind me. It feels really homely, right? I don't even know if homely is a word, but it's awesome. I love it here. I hope this ride lasts forever, but you know, whatever's whatever. She supported me through this opportunity because I still work a full-time job. I still have client work that I do, right? Not only do I have client work, I still DJ. I still have my own content that I put out. I have a lot of things going on, and she supports me through all of it. Now we throw a baby in the mix. We have Anaya that comes along. Anaya is now going on 4 months. Yeah, she's going on 4 months now. And I will be lying if I said that that I did a lot of work. I do not do a lot of work when it comes to my kids. Like, I'm a good dad. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm a great dad. I'm there for them. I'm always there, right? But when I say I don't do a lot, it's because I can never do as much as my girl does. Could never. She puts our kids first. Hell, like even over the weekend, I was like, let's get us some family shoes. Like everybody needs some new shoes. Let's get some, nothing expensive. Let's just get some Vans. And so I'm basic, right? I just get some basic black Vans. And so she's like, hey, get the boys some black Vans. Here's their sizes. Boom. So I'm like, all right, well, what about you? And she's like, nah, I don't want none. And it's like, oh, like she never puts herself first at all. And, you know, as I was gearing up for this 8-year anniversary of ours, there's a lot that happens in February, right? You have Valentine's Day, you have our anniversary, a lot going on in this month. And, you know, I try to make her feel special every single day. I try. I'm not the greatest spouse, you know, I'm not the greatest dad, but I try, right? And so it made me think, how can I make this 8-year anniversary that much special, right? Of course, by this time, you should have got flowers. I'm talking to you, Tressa. You should have got flowers. The only other thing that I haven't been able to give you is a ring. So, I know it's 8 years too long, and by the time you watch it, it's already been what, 28 minutes. If whoever's listening, babe, I know you're still listening. You already know that this was coming. We've talked about this a lot. I've been lazy. I just haven't done it. I've always called you my wife. I wear a ring every day, regardless. But I wanted to make it official and ask you, will you marry me? Because I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Because of everything that I've already told you guys. And if you say no, I'm going to kill you. I just played. Yo, that's good. That's horrible. Maybe I should edit that out. No, I'm not. Yeah. Will you marry me?